Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're here with us because today we're looking at a truly fascinating technological shift. We are going to explore how the smartphone sitting right there in your pocket is rapidly transforming into a powerful external brain for your ears. You see, it's no longer just about making things louder. It's about using immense processing power to completely redefine how we experience sound in the modern world. If you wear hearing aids, or you know someone who does, you absolutely know the struggle. But the technology evolving right now to solve that struggle is, well, it's nothing short of sci-fi.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start with the noise problem, then we'll get into Bluetooth hearing aids, look at some essential apps, dive into AI and deep learning, and finally ask the question, are apps always necessary? All right, Section 1, the noise problem, the universal struggle in sound. Have you ever been in a restaurant that was just so loud, so totally chaotic that you kind of just wanted to pack up your dinner and go home? We have all been there, right? It's incredibly frustrating to be sitting right across from a friend or a loved one and not be able to follow a single thread of the conversation. The fundamental issue here is that in a noisy environment, background chatter actively masks those high-pitched consonant sounds like S, F, and T that are absolutely critical for understanding human speech. Those are the sounds that literally give words their shape and meaning. When you can't hear those specific high frequencies, you really cannot distinguish words. Everything just blends into this frustrating, exhausting wall of noise. And the mental fatigue of constantly trying to decode that noise, it's immense. And the stakes here are incredibly high. According to data highlighted by audiologist Dr. Cliff, experts estimate that up to 25% of adults already have some level of hearing loss from loud noise. Think about that for a second. That's 1 in 4 people walking around right now. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration actually notes that you can only safely listen to 90 decibels for about 8 hours, and that safe exposure time gets cut in half with every 5 decibel increase. It is actually shocking how quickly damage happens in our everyday environments. Think about a loud sports bar during a playoff game, a packed fitness class, or even just your noisy subway commute. We're constantly bathing our ears in potentially damaging soundscapes without even realizing it. Moving right along to Section 2, Bluetooth hearing aids explained, the hardware baseline. When we look at the top consumer devices for 2026 from buyhearingaid.com, we see a fascinating and, honestly, highly competitive landscape. The hardware itself has evolved dramatically from those simple acoustic amplifiers of the past. For instance, Phonox Audio Lumity focuses heavily on smart speech to cut through those dynamic environments we were just talking about. Signia's iX and AX series use own voice processing, which is huge because it ensures you don't sound like you're talking inside a barrel to yourself. Then you have Resound, which places a microphone directly inside the ear canal for a much more natural sound capture, taking advantage of the physical shape of your ear. Weedex minimizes processing delays with their Pure Sound tech, virtually eliminating that artificial tinny echo. And meanwhile, Starkey's Omega AI series actually integrates neural network processing right into the earpiece itself. It's basically this brilliant arms race of miniaturized technology. But you know, the crucial baseline connecting all of these flagship models is universal Bluetooth compatibility for both Android and iPhone. And this connectivity changes everything. It allows for seamless, hands-free phone calls right into your ears. It enables direct music and media streaming, which is absolutely life-changing for users who, just a few years ago, had to wear these clunky, uncomfortable neck loops or external streaming medallions just to listen to a podcast. Now, it's totally integrated. Plus, Bluetooth allows for deep app control, letting you personalize treble, bass, and environmental settings instantly. It even allows your audiologist to remotely adjust your devices while you're just sitting on your own couch. All right, Section 3, Essential Hearing Loss Apps, your digital toolkit. So, Dr. Cliff outlines 4 essential categories of apps that essentially act as your defensive digital toolkit in a really noisy world. First up, a sound level meter like Decibel X. Think of this as a speedometer for your ears. It instantly warns you if a room exceeds that safe 90 decibel limit, so you can protect your hearing before any damage actually occurs. Second, transcription apps like Otter AI. These provide real-time subtitles for tricky listening situations. Imagine trying to understand a doctor speaking to you while wearing a surgical mask. Having text pop up right on your phone is an absolute game changer. Third, Soundprint. This allows you to check the crowdsourced decibel rating of a restaurant on a map before you even book a table. It lets you avoid the noise problem altogether. And finally, auditory training apps like Lace AI. These are vital because, remember, hearing actually happens in the brain, not just the ears. When you lose hearing, your brain loses practice decoding those signals. These apps help rewire and strengthen the brain's audio processing capabilities through targeted daily exercises.
When you read user testimonials, like this one from a HeardThat app user named Dale, you really see the profound human impact of this digital toolkit. Dale says, "It's much better with the app. You don't struggle as much to hear." See, this isn't just about cool technology for the sake of it. It's about genuine, profound relief. It's about giving people the confidence to go out to dinner, to rejoin a family conversation at a crowded holiday table, and to do so without feeling completely exhausted by the sheer physical effort of simply trying to listen.
Which brings us to Section 4, AI and Deep Learning, the External Brain. To really grasp how seriously this technology is being developed, consider a rigorous academic testing setup from a recent study. Researchers placed test subjects directly in the middle of a circle of 12 loudspeakers. 11 of those speakers blast chaotic, intense babble noise. Think clinking plates, chairs scraping, loud overlapping chatter perfectly simulating a busy, chaotic bistro. Meanwhile, only one speaker plays the target speech the subject actually needs to hear. It's basically the ultimate auditory stress test. The goal is to see if a smartphone app, acting as an intermediary, can clean up that disastrously noisy audio in real time before sending it to the user's hearing aid.
So how do they actually do it? Through incredibly complex neural networks. The smartphone uses its microphones to intercept the messy room audio, runs it through a deep learning denoising system that mathematically isolates the human voice from the background clatter, and then streams the clean speech back to the hearing aid. And it accomplishes this immense computational feat in roughly 25 milliseconds. 25 milliseconds. The results from the study were remarkable. Users saw an improvement in their speech reception threshold by 1.6 decibels. Now, I know 1.6 decibels might sound small to the average person, but in the world of audiology, this is massive. Even a 1 decibel improvement in signal-to-noise ratio can literally mean the difference between perfectly understanding a sentence and being completely lost in the noise. What is truly amazing is how commercial apps like HeardThat package this mind-bending, academic-level artificial intelligence into a beautifully simple user interface. You do not need a degree in machine learning to leverage this power. The friction is virtually zero. You simply download the app, connect your existing Bluetooth hearing aids or even standard earbuds, press a single prominent button to activate the noise removal, and just listen to clear speech. Your phone does all of the heavy lifting quietly in your pocket, functioning perfectly as that external brain we've been talking about.
And finally, Section 5. Are apps always necessary? Let's do a quick reality check.
So, as enthusiastic as we are about all this technology, we definitely need to stay objective. Understanding what apps actually do versus what they don't do is absolutely crucial. According to the team at Panda Hearing, apps are fantastic for adding convenience, streaming media, and providing that incredible AI noise reduction we just explored. But they do not replace the core clinical programming of the hearing aid itself. And more importantly, apps are inherently fragile. They don't always function flawlessly. A routine phone operating system update can instantly break a Bluetooth connection, or an app might suddenly freeze right when you walk into an important meeting and need to make a critical adjustment. Relying solely on a secondary device introduces points of failure. And this is precisely why some manufacturers, like Panda Hearing with their quantum model, emphasize that an app really should be an optional layer of convenience, not a strict requirement for basic functionality. If your phone battery dies halfway through the day, or if you just experience tech fatigue and don't want to constantly fiddle with a glowing screen, your hearing aid should still retain its core programming. It should function perfectly well using physical, tactile buttons on the device itself. It's all about having hearing that fits seamlessly into your lifestyle, rather than a lifestyle constantly dictated by software updates and battery percentages. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. Does the future of human hearing belong in our ears or in our pockets? As the hardware inside our ears gets smaller and more discrete, the computational power required to truly conquer background noise gets larger and more demanding. The smartphone provides a brilliant bridge today, acting as this incredibly powerful external brain, but as we navigate the realities of app fatigue, battery life, and those inevitable Bluetooth drops, the ultimate goal for the industry will surely be fitting that massive AI processing power directly inside the ear itself. Until that day arrives, though, our pockets hold the key to a clearer, more connected sounding world. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.